The following program is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. You can request podcast topics, enjoy exclusive RPG and video content, and more. Even just $1 a month gets you gameplay episodes a week early and makes you officially cool. Just like our Trash Elite, a guy from Ohio, and Rob, Destrucity, KTL, DG, Kitty Holbrook, Thomas Austin Jr., Passion Killer 711, and Drake Starstorm. Greetings and salutations. This is Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
What up?
This is the Two Nerds Podcast, and today we are talking about movies we didn't see in, at the very least, April of 1995.
And maybe some movies we did see.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get into May. It depends on how long it takes. This is a half-hour podcast, approximately. Before we get into that, we didn't have the occasion to last week, and the wrestling pay-per-view was long. You know, that podcast was long. So let's talk about what's crumping. It's been like fully 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we crumped properly.
What have you been crumping, my brother?
I watched most of the most recent season of Reacher, the Amazon adaptation of Lee Child's books. Got about, I'd say, 75% of the way through it and went, oh, I think I might be done with this. And I turned it off and I haven't gone back.
Anything else you've been up to?
I started playing KOTOR 2 again because I wanted a single-player game that I could play on the computer. That I didn't feel like trying a new game because I already have too many new games I need to play. So I'm playing a game that's even older than Oblivion.
I finished Avowed. Good game, flawed, but a really good game. I liked the core party. I think it had a lot of good themes. The combat was really fun. If I were the kind of guy who replayed a game just to check out other combat options, Avowed would be one of those games. But I'm pretty satisfied with what I did, so we will not be doing that. And I started Expedition 33. Man, that parry system is tough on me personally. Otherwise, it's phenomenal. Very French. I feel like I did something else.
We've both been still playing Marvel Rivals.
Yes, Ultron came out. I was so sad that he was underpowered, and then me and the rest of the internet figured out how to use him, so we're good now.
I don't like him. I want to like him, but he is the opposite of how I play Marvel Rivals.
And yet, you still managed to play him very well.
I want to like him.
I see. I'm most of the way through Spray Paint Simulator. That's pretty relaxing. It's no power wash simulator, but it is a fine, pale imitator. I need to print a retraction. I think I was wrong about Shadow of the Erd Tree. Because I played Shadow of the Erd Tree on New Game Plus. I've never played it on the original playthrough, unlike the people who I talked to about Shadow of the Erd Tree. And it ends up having the same problem as the base Elden Ring game, except that instead of having the things you need spread apart across miles and miles of goat riding madness, they're hidden in difficult to reach areas that may or may not require a goat. My cat has input.
I bitched at the time about everything I was looking for was hidden up some old guy's asshole that I had to go rooting around in. And this man disbelieved me.
Well, because I was not having that experience. And neither of us thought that New Game Plus was going to be that much of a difference, because it usually isn't.
Especially by the time you're fighting things that are scaled like Shadow of the Erd Tree bosses are. I don't know that it's that huge of a difference, but to be fair, I don't know that for certain.
Well, and also, I'm tackling Shadow of the Erd Tree content before I finish the main game. And because I played the main game before, I am not going through and checking every little nook and cranny that I can find, having fun exploring a new world. I am, sometimes by requirement, and often just by me not caring, just heading toward my next objective and accomplishing it. Now, I might meander a little bit, but it's nothing like the first time I played through Elden Ring. And Elden Ring expects you to do that, which is a problem I have with the core game, but it also extends to Shadow of the Erd Tree. You're not as strong. And it's you kind of have to either exploit one of the grinding areas for a long time, which I don't care for, or you will have had to do what the game assumes you have done by the point you're at story-wise. And it's just too much. It's so much game. Call me a games journalist if you like. I'm certainly not. You would be lying, but it's just too much game.
We clowned on the games journalist. Well, we made fun of them. But as I age, sometimes I don't want to eat the whole goddamn large pizza in one sitting. I'd like a normal-sized pizza, please.
That is one thing I'll say for stuff like Baldur's Gate 3. And honestly, Elden Ring the first time around. You give me an 80-hour game and that sounds really intimidating, but if all of it is filled with interesting stuff, that's awesome. Elden Ring is, like the previous Souls games, a game that's meant to be replayed. And I think that is where it suffers most. Especially if you make a new character instead of doing, New Game Plus, the carrying over your save. I think a lot of that is alleviated by carrying over your save. A, you have a bunch of items already, and B, you're probably a little over-leveled anyway because the final boss is a little harder than it needs to be. It requires a little bit of grinding.
Easier now that I understand. I still have never fought the Elden Beast with Torrent. I do want to do that at some point, but I have so many games that duty demands I play, and I don't... I'm tired, boss.
Speaking of duty, it's time to talk about the movies that came out in April of 1995. I might do a transition here. Ooh, editing. Check that out. We start out with An Awfully Big Adventure. British coming-of-age film directed by Mike Newell. Concerns a girl who joins a local repertory theater troupe. That's what it says. In Liverpool, during a winter production of Peter Pan, the play quickly turns into a dark metaphor for youth as she becomes drawn into a web of sexual politics and intrigue.
I assume she fucks Alan Rickman, because if you have the option, who wouldn't?
I don't know, isn't that Hugh Grant over there? Some people prefer them a Hugh Grant.
Philistines.
I'm okay.
Oh, I don't want to watch this.
Hugh Grant plays Meredith Potter, so there is an outside chance that Alan Rickman says, Mr. Potter.
And that would be funny.
Yeah, because you don't have to see it in that other thing he was in.
Die Hard.
Bad Boys is Mikhail Bai in his directorial debut. I don't think we've seen anything else from that director. Starring Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. Two Miami narcotics detectives investigate $100 million worth of stolen packs of heroin and must also protect a woman from a drug dealer after she witnessed a key murder.
Bad Boys is a really good fun movie.
Bad Boys is a really good fun movie. All of my silly jokes aside, because I have to keep myself entertained.
I don't know that I could watch it now.
No, I think it's probably the humor's aged pretty negatively, and Will Smith. It's
basically that. Like, as we've seen from Ted, I can accept humor in the time it was written. I'm decent. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm decent at being able to put art in the context in which it originally existed. And I try and separate art from artists as it regards to actors. But like, there are certain actors, man, Will Smith, Tom Cruise, who have been such unbelievable douchebags so publicly that I just can't take you seriously anymore. I can't empathize with you.
Yeah. Still, when I saw it, it was pretty good. I believe I liked the sequel better.
I like the sequel better because it contains a cameo from Henry Rollins.
And we like Henry Rollins. He's angry and he doesn't appreciate the Avatar. Circle of Friends is a romantic drama directed by Irish filmmaker Pat O'Connor, based on the novel of the same name. It was received well by critics. This is one of those without a summary.
It was not received well by me because it doesn't have a summary. The cat has fully joined the podcast now. She is
over stuff
on the desk. She
Good times.
Demands attention. But I'm not interested. If you can't even be fussed to tell me what you're about, I'm not gonna. This looks bad anyway. Goodbye.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's my kind of thing. Whatever. Don Juan DeMarco.
I think I've known about the existence of this movie as like a verbal meme.
I think I remember the ads for this.
Maybe that's where I got it too. But maybe my brain is just going Don DeMarco, which is a different thing.
So this is a romantic comedy drama starring Johnny Depp, obviously. playing John Arnold DeMarco, a man who believes himself to be Don Juan, the greatest lover in the world. He dresses in a cape and domino mask and undergoes psychiatric treatment with Marlon Brando's character, Dr. Jack Mickler, to cure him of his apparent delusion. But they have an unexpected effect on the psychiatric staff, some of whom find themselves inspired by DeMarco's delusion, and the most profoundly affected is Dr. Mickler himself, who rekindles the romance in his complacent marriage. I think I've seen enough of this that I think I remember it being kind of fun. But I don't know that I've ever sat down and watched all of it.
Well, I don't care. I don't want to watch this. It doesn't sound like my movie.
No, it doesn't sound like your vibe. But, yeah. Neat. Thanks, Don Juan. A Goofy movie. Have you ever seen a Goofy movie?
I have. I want to open my phone. Bear with me for one moment.
I will let you know. This is a musical comedy adventure film produced by Walt Disney Television Animation, based on the Disney afternoon series Goof Troop, but it does take place well after Goof Troop.
That's fine. I was just watching something on YouTube on my phone, and I didn't want the audio to be picked up, so we're good. Just in case I need to Google something throughout the course of the podcast. The Goofy movie is great. Powerline is great.
I see what happened there. Yes. Goofy movie, good. There was no audio that happened. Anyway, Max is going to college. No. Yes, high school. End of high school. It's summertime. Goofy wants to take him to an old fishing spot. I'm not reading the summary. I'm just remembering. And Max wants to go to the Powerline concert, and they have father-son conflict about that. And even back when I saw it the first time, I was like, be cool to your dad, man.
Just go to the fishing spot.
Yeah, he clearly loves you.
Powerline rips and all, but, like, just go to the fishing spot. Goofy's nice. But, like, Powerline does rip, though, is the thing.
They recently, this is the 30th anniversary for the film, I think. If I'm remembering correctly.
Well, it's 2025, so yeah.
It came out in 1995, yeah. So all of these, it's the 30th anniversary. Mazel tov. They released a 360 video experience you can watch. I think it was on YouTube, of the Powerline concert. And that was really cool. There's a lot of little Easter eggs and stuff in there. Rob Roy, which is a drink. Historical biographical drama. Stars Liam Neeson as Rob Roy McGregor, an 18th century Scottish Highlander who becomes engaged in a dispute with a nobleman in the Scottish Highlands, played by John Hurt, a Scottish Highlander from the Scottish Highlands.
A bunch of Scottish people made a historical drama about their history, and they're all really happy about it. I've never seen this movie. This kind of movie seems like it might be right up my alley. I will never see this movie.
It's the cover, man. Like I don't. Kissing is gross, obviously. I don't know. It implies something about what kind of film it's going to be, and those don't tend to hit me well.
I have, however, seen Jury Duty.
I'm sorry. Legal comedy directed by John Fortenberry. More importantly, starring Pauly Shore.
I've seen all the Pauly Shore fucking. The Pauly Shore golden age. I've seen Biodome. I've seen Jury Duty. I've seen Encino Man. I've seen Son-in-Law. Like the time when he was big. I've seen all those movies.
Did Jeff Jarrett rook you? Why do you have such a low opinion of Gold?
Look, it's relative. Like for him, it was his golden age.
I guess you got a point there. He's not Pinocchio, so. It's not got a summary, as you can see here. It was a box office bomb. That's the summary.
It was a Pauly Shore movie. I don't know why they kept trying to make him work.
I have, however, seen The Pebble and the Penguin, an American independent animated musical comedy adventure film directed by Don Bluth, starring Martin Short, Jim Belushi, Tim Curry, and Annie Golden, based on the mating rituals of the Adelie penguins in Antarctica.
Never seen The Pebble and the Penguin. To quote Benedict Cumberbatch,
Did he say that?
Famously, he did the voiceover for a documentary about penguins, and the whole entire documentary, he fucked up the word penguin every time.
Oh, I see. I see what you've done there.
In different ways. One of them was penguin, and I like that one the most. And like. I've never seen this because I'm not a Don Bluth kid. There are Don Bluth kids and non-Don Bluth kids, and I'm not a Don Bluth kid.
I wasn't 100% there when I was a kid. I was to a certain extent, but not consciously.
I've seen some of the big ones. I've seen, like, Brave Little Toaster.
That wasn't him.
Oh. Well, then, this is a fun little game. Let's try... I've seen The Land Before Time?
I believe he was involved at that point, yes.
Excellent. Okay, good.
Have you not seen The Secret of Nim?
Oh, I guess I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were going to stop the podcast. It's just a weird little penguin love story, and then he has to go on an adventure. It's not good. This was after Don Bluth was good. So this is one of the not good movies.
I have seen A Troll in Central Park.
That is a Don Bluth film. That was also after Don Bluth was
It's
back.
terrible.
Well, you've seen We're Back, A Dinosaur Story.
Yes.
That's also a Don Bluth film.
That one was good.
It had good parts. Stuart Saves His Family is about Stuart. He saves his family.
Good for Stewart.
Wow, it's Stuart from Saturday Night Live.
Yes, it's one of the Saturday Night Live movies.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's Al Franken.
Yeah. He was Stewart.
Oh, no. Well, Stuart was... Wow, Al Franken was Stuart? I thought...
Pretty sure that was Al Franken.
No, it says it right here, but I thought it was... Beloved Man. It's on The Simpsons a lot. Did News Radio. Man.
I don't know, Granddad. I'm sorry.
Not the TV show News Radio, you fuck.
Come on, it was right there.
You're right there.
It was
for choking. He was Troy McClure. He sounded like this. Phil Hartman. I just had to do the voice.
You had to do the voice.
I thought Phil Hartman was Stuart. And I
no,
guess
Stuart Smalley.
I'll need you to take that sentence and think about it real hard and wonder if saying that should have helped me at all.
Would it help me?
We're moving on. I've never seen it. I have no desire to see it. Nobody even talks about it, so I can't imagine it could be that good or bad.
If I had to guess, it's the ode to all of the Saturday Night Live movies that didn't get over. It's aggressively mid.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
It's not Pat. It's not the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Blues Brothers being a good one. Please don't come at me. It's Pat is bad. Please come at me.
It's Pat is insufferable. I've never seen it, but I've seen clips, and that's all I ever want to see.
I've watched so many reviews of it.
Don't make me watch It's Pat.
I'm not going to make you watch it, because I would have to watch It's Pat. New Jersey Drive is a crime drama produced by Spike Lee.
Oh.
That's all you get about it, I guess.
I mean, for a lot of people, that's enough.
They skip the plot. They go to the cast and then production and then reception. Who could know what it's about?
For a lot of people, if it's a Spike Lee movie, they don't need the plot summary. They know it. They watched it already.
The Basketball Diaries deals with drug addiction and its unfavorable outcome in the lives of common people.
This was in the dark times for Leo. This was in the Leonardo DiCaprio era when I hated everything he did and violently hated him.
I have not seen this. It had Ernie Hudson in it, though, so it can't be that bad.
Although this was pre-Titanic.
No. So, I've got to go. Don't look at the screen.
What's going on?
Nothing was on the screen. We're going to The Cure now.
No, we're going to go back.
We can't possibly.
Mark Wahlberg was in it, wasn't
he? Wasn't. Power. The Cure is a 1995 film. It's a drama starring Brad Renfro and Joseph Mazzello, and follows an unlikely friendship between two boys, one of whom is suffering from AIDS. When they hear of a possible cure for the disease, they set out on a quest to find it.
I bet you this movie is a sensitive and nuanced uncovering of this particular topic. I bet it's very, 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 very polite.
Well, thank you for whoever wrote this summary. Once they return, Dexter spends the rest of his time in the hospital. As his relationship with his mother has grown increasingly strained, Eric goes to stay with Linda, who lets him visit Dexter. The boys joke and prank the doctor 3 times that Dexter has died, but when a third doctor arrives to check on him, Dexter has died for real.
Great job, movie.
Dexter has died for real.
Dexter has died for real. And there
it
we
seems
go.
like it's My Girl, but for 2 boys, one of them has AIDS. Kiss of Death. Stars David Caruso, Samuel L. Jackson, Nicolas Cage, Helen Hunt, Ving Rhames, and Stanley Tucci.
This is probably dope, actually.
Why have we not watched this? Jimmy Kilmartin is a reformed ex-convict living in Astoria with his wife Bev and their daughter. They're recovering alcoholics. Neat. That sounds pretty exciting. It's a remake of a noir classic.
Oh, no, we're not watching this. I remember the last noir classic we watched a remake of.
Yeah, but this one at least has Nicolas Cage in it.
He is born for the exact kind of trash that this movie might be.
Nah, he's like a third character, though. I'll leave it up. We'll consider it. Swimming with sharks? Don't do that, it's dangerous.
There's sharks there.
Also known as The Boss and Buddy Factor, is a satirical black comedy written and directed by George Huang and starring Kevin Spacey, Frank Whaley, and Michelle Forbes.
I'm probably not going to watch this, guys.
Yeah, I don't really like the corporate world that much. I haven't seen Wolf of Wall Street, and I heard it's really good. And that's the only reason.
That is the only reason.
The only one. It's if you're into like corporate stuff, have better blinders than I do. You'd probably be into this. But
there are a couple movies I might watch that have certain things in common with swimming with sharks. If I could show them to my friend White Raven, who's never seen them, but that would be the only reason I would bother.
No, because you already had me watch Office Space, and I hated it. Feel free to come at me about that one. There were good things about Office Space. They also have good things about Batman. Figure that out for yourself. While you were sleeping, I've heard this talked about a lot. John Turteltaub romantic comedy, starring Sandra Bullock as Lucy, a Chicago Transit Authority token collector, and Bill Pullman as Jack, the brother of a man whose life she saves, along with Peter Gallagher as Peter, the man who is saved. It's the guy gets saved, and I think he's got like amnesia or something, and she's in love with him. I don't remember if it's for a legitimate reason or not, but yeah, I don't know. It was kind of big at the time. I remember a lot of people either were talking about it ironically or were just talking about it.
It's got a very interesting name. I thought so. Okay, thanks, Brain.
What's up?
Brain went. That guy's name, the guy who made it. His name sounds like a cartoon character name. Brain internally, it doesn't. I don't think it inherently sounds like a cartoon. Why do you connect this with a cartoon character? Why do you connect just the regular human named Turteltaub with a cartoon character, Brain? Let's Google it. I bet we know, and I was right.
For me, that was a funny joke in the series BoJack Horseman because I knew who John Turteltaub was beforehand.
I did not.
No.
However, I have seen this. Friday is a certified classic. Friday is a movie I loved as a kid. It's one of those times when you just take a beat, absorb, and move on.
I haven't seen Friday. I'm worried some stuff won't hold up viewing it for the first time in the modern era. And I would hate to disrespect Friday because I am aware of how important it is and significant it is and fun it is. I quote it accidentally because it's so prevalent in pop culture.
I worry that some moments have become so memed they wouldn't hit well enough in the movie.
I had that problem with the movie Waiting. All of my friends went and saw it and then were memeing it for like 3 months, maybe a year. I finally saw it and was like, well, I've seen this film. But it had John Witherspoon and I like him, so... God, I'm glad I read that twice. Crumb is a documentary about the noted underground cartoonist R. Crumb. Oh, okay. And his family and his outlook on life. I bet that's weird.
I mean, I can see the poster for the movie.
Robert Crumb was a weird dude.
Yeah, I feel like this one's going to be strange. This is a strange movie, probably.
Yeah.
I'm largely uninterested in this.
This is something I might watch, but there's definitely a period in my life where I would have watched this.
There was a period of this in your life where you would have watched this and then told me about how great it was.
I'm sorry.
Got me to watch it.
No, that never happens. Destiny Turns on the Radio is a comedy film starring Dylan McDermott, Nancy Travis, Quentin Tarantino, James LaGrosse, and James Belushi.
rare Quentin Tarantino acting role where he's not writing.
Mm-hmm. Incarcerated bank robber Julian Goddard escapes from prison. He is rescued in the desert by Johnny Destiny, a bizarre, possibly supernatural character. Destiny takes Julian to Las Vegas and the Maryland motel owned by Harry Thoreau, who is Julian's partner in crime. Julian searches for his girlfriend Lucille and the proceeds of the heist. However, Destiny has taken the money and Lucille is pregnant and shacking up with Tuerto, a mob kingpin. Her agent has convinced a record label to send a talent scout to her home lounge singing act, but Julian's arrival upsets her plans. As they are hunted by both the police and Tuerto's henchmen, Destiny toys with their fate.
That was 7 movies.
Quentin Tarantino is Johnny Destiny, though, so that's pretty good.
That was 7 movies.
I mean, it's got Quentin Tarantino in it.
So
yeah, it's going to be 7 movies.
Guys, I felt like I acquired a certain percentage of ADHD by you reading that.
It's, it's one of those things where those movies, those really breakneck shit is happening movies were really popular from about here until the late 2000s, the late aughts, I should say. They don't make them as much anymore, but they were hot for a while. A pyromaniac's love story.
Man fucks a burning house. Tune in to AEW Dynamite.
Romantic comedy starring William Baldwin, John Leguizamo, Sadie Frost, and Erica Eleniak. I thought everyone called him Billy Baldwin. Maybe he's just too old now and learned.
Could be a different one.
Sergio is a pastry shop assistant who is smitten with Hattie, a mousy girl who works in her father Perry's diner, and refuses to consider a relationship with him until he begins to earn a decent living.
No, thank you.
Oh, he wants to burn down the store to collect the insurance money.
Thank you for making it a movie.
Yeah, and then there's hijinks ensue. I'm okay. I'm all right.
I go out of my way to excise messy bitches from my life, except for this one. No, I'm joking. He's not. And this would not. I don't want more of them. Thank you. However, Top Dog.
I saw a coincidence here when I opened this up. So Top Dog, as you can see, is a 1995 buddy cop action comedy film directed by Aaron Norris. Makes sense because it's starring Chuck Norris. It was his last film to release theatrically before he shifted to direct-to-video for several years. Norris's character Jake Wilder is partnered with Reno, a police dog whose handler was killed. Jake and Reno investigate a plot by domestic terrorists to attack a conference on Unity. Jake and Reno survive assassination attempts and I can talk several hand-to-hand fights. What is in this drink? And eventually discover enough clues to foil the attack. The film is set in San Diego and was largely filmed there. It received mainly negative reviews. It was written by Ron Swanson.
Huh. Well, okay.
I have an idea for a film. It needs to have Chuck Norris in it. No. I fear that you think I'm saying that Chuck Norris should be the top consideration. If we can't get Chuck, the film doesn't get made. The second star of the film, the secondary protagonist, is a lovable dog. I'm not doing the whole bit, but there you go. There's a little bit of that. The Underneath, I've never seen Top Dog, have you?
No, I've seen the Sylvester Stallone dog movie.
I think I saw most of Turner and Hooch.
Why are there so many cop and dog movies?
Because Turner and Hooch went over like gangbusters. Gangbang Busters.
Stallone had one of those, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, K9 or something like that. It
wasn't just Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
It was a different movie about his mom.
Yeah, but like my brain was like, did he have one or am I just thinking of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
I'm almost positive he did.
Excellent. Okay.
The Underneath is an American crime film directed by Steven Soderbergh, starring Peter Gallagher and Allison Elliott. Based on the novel Crisscross by Don Tracy, a remake of the original 1949 film. The plot revolves around many themes common to film noir, including romantic intrigue, botched crime, and a surprise ending.
No. Blame terrible movie alley.
Yeah. I don't know. This just doesn't seem that interesting to me. Village of the Damned
Oh, I've seen
Man,
this.
that poster.
I saw this as a kid.
I remember that poster from so many video stores. John Carpenter film, science fiction horror starring Christopher Reeve, Kirstie Alley, Linda Kozlowski, and Michael Pare. A remake of the 1960 film of the same name, itself based on the 1957 novel Midwich Cuckoos by John Wyndham. The 1995 version is set in Northern California, where the girls will warn you. Whereas the book and original film both set in England. This is the last film Reeve did before he was paralyzed. There's a creepy town full of creepy girls and boys of young age. It probably inspired parts of Bloodborne.
Probably inspired a lot of stuff.
Probably. I've actually never seen this one. It has Mark Hamill in it. I don't think it's the one we're thinking about. No, it is. There he is.
Yeah,
That's
that's
his
him.
little face. I like that I can just pop up people's little faces. It's fun.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Hey, kids. It's Mark Hamill.
Fucking hey, kids.
Applause.
And Tyson.
We were making biographical movies about Tyson in 1995. There's a whole lot of Mike Tyson that hasn't happened yet in 1995.
Well, they kind of thought that maybe Tyson was over in 1995
Oh, I guess, yeah.
on account of the
Yeah, that's a comeback you never expect.
spaceying. Allegedly, anyway. Yeah, it's a documentary about Mike Tyson. It's got Michael Jai White, I think it said. Yeah, as Tyson. That's pretty cool. That is April. That was enough film for us in April. Don't think about what's in May. This isn't the episode about May. Today we crumped. Today we aped. And that is... Do we have an outro for this show?
Not even a little bit.